Good morning. Hello. Hello. And I'm here today to show you something fun. I'm Dub Floros, and I'm here today at beadaholique.com/live. And I'm so glad that you're all here with me today. Hi, Michelle. My trusty sidekick, Michelle, is here today. She is always such a joy to have present in these lives because she's incredibly knowledgeable and she's a very nice person. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Eric is here too. Such a brave guy. Thanks for being here, Eric. So today, as I said, is August 19th. We are on the other side of August, the second half of the month, and we are doing all kinds of fun things as we go through the closing sale of Beadaholique. Sad, but we're having as much fun as we can for as long as we can. And we're offering you amazing, amazing deals, 40% off of all the things, everything. You don't need any coupons. You don't need any special codes. All you need is to shop the website and you will get the 40% off. Hi, everybody. I need to say hello to some folks who are joining. Netta is here. Hello. Marianne Madden says hello from sunny Massachusetts. Sherry is here. Santa Barbara girl. Hello, hello. My favorite pink lady. Thank you so much. Dee in Miami is here. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thanks for being here. So I hope all of you have had a great week so far. It's only Tuesday. We've got plenty of time for things to shape up if it hasn't started right. And I hope that you guys have had an opportunity to do something creative so far this week. I try to do something creative every day. Of course, this is what I do every day. But even when I was not doing this full time, I tried to do something creative every day, even if it was just make something really simple, like a simple earring. So I hope that you all have found some time, and if you haven't yet, that you'll find some time today. So I'm seeing more people jump in. Let's see who else is here. Julie Peterson, 2 days in a row. Yes. Lisa in PA is here. Kathy says howdy from South Texas. Howdy. Annie is here from Chicago. Terry says hello. Pamela from Northern California. Cricket from Southern California. We got the whole state of California covered, I'm quite sure now. Leah says it's 71 degrees in Maine. That sounds amazing, Leah. Rochelle is here from hot Houston. It's pretty hot where I am too. And Kathleen says howdy from South Florida. We've got a good part of the country covered, you guys. So as a reminder, if you missed the very few minutes of the show, first few minutes of the show, beadaholique.com closing, but we're going to have fun all the way to the end, and everything right now in the store is 40% off. So that's tools, that's beads, that's wire, findings, all the things. So it's a great time to stock up. So I'm hopeful that all of you are taking advantage of that. And I've got a fun class for you today. So before we start that, let me remind you, if you're watching at beadaholique.com/live, that is the best place to watch the show live because we can see your comments, you can chit chat, you can ask questions, you can hang out with all of the other Beadaholique fans, and you can shop the show, which is super, super fun. So if you're looking at your screen, you may have a little icon that looks like a little bag, kind of an odd little bag. But if you click on that, it will bring you to all the items that are in the show today. So everything that I'm working with or substitutes for what I'm working with, because as you know, things are selling out fast. So if you are in the shopping bag and you're looking at the variations and the substitutes as I go, but if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, we would love for you to come on over and watch with us here. If you can't do that, you can stay there. We love that you watch us wherever you watch. But if you're watching this show live or on the replay, you can shop the show. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click on the link in the description of the video and come on over, or you can go on Facebook. You can put that code that's at the top of the screen in the comments. It will pop you to Messenger and then on over to beadaholic.com, and you can find the show there. And don't be afraid to shop the show because I don't go away. I just get smaller on the screen. You can still see me and hear me, and you can do your shopping while you watch. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and I'm actually shut my door because my cat just let himself out of my studio. So he left the door wide open, as a boy cat might do. So, okay, everybody, hi. I see Bobby's here. Hi, Bobby. So I found some cool beads when I was digging around on the Beadaholic website. These are super, super, super duper cool. So these are bar beads, and I've seen bar beads, but I've not seen them big like this before. So typically a bar bead is a lot smaller. In fact, while you stare at those, I'm going to find a bar bead in my studio here that I can show you. I hope you can still hear me. I'm going to show you a bar bead that is like a normal size bar bead. I know I have some. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Here is a bar bead and what you might typically see. So these are bar beads. Actually, these are bricks. But they are very similar. And this is what I'm used to seeing when I think about a two-hole bead that looks like this. So brick bead, bar bead. These are 15 by 5 millimeters. They are two-hole. You can see the two holes there. And this particular color is so incredibly cool. These are called red with black swirl. I don't know if I would call them that, but there are shades of like rust and gray and brown and black. And there are kind of a couple of different variations. Well, they all kind of look a little bit different, like maybe they're stone. And yes, Bobby, I think these are super cool. Monica, I agree. They're so pretty. So these are interesting. So when I found these, I thought, I love a two-hole bead, and I love to play around designing with two-hole beads. These I had never worked with before. So in the shopping bag, you're going to see every variation of this bead that I could find on the website. All 40% off because everything is 40% off. And you can see here the holes are pretty widespread. So you've got lots of opportunity to do fun things with these. Now, I know not everybody likes a two-hole bead. In fact, I was in a Facebook group this morning and I saw somebody saying, I have two-hole beads and I don't know what to do with them. And so I know some people are perplexed by designing with these. So I thought that I would show you today an easy way to use these and to create a fun bracelet design. So I showed you these guys. These are the main bead, the main squeeze for this project. Super cool. And you get a ton of them. I mean, a ton of these beads, 50 pieces. So I made a bracelet and I still have a bunch of these left. So here's my design. Super simple, but really cool. So this is kind of a fall colorway here. So we've got those, kind of moody mixed color beads. And then I pulled in just some simple check glass rounds. These are 4 millimeter and they're a bronze color. I love working with this color. It goes with gold. It goes with copper. It goes with all different metals. It's a great tone for mixed metals. And I love it with a fall vibe kind of piece. So these are 4 millimeter And you can get a strand of these. I think it's a strand of 100. So those look really cool with those 2-hole beads. And then I used some size 15-0 seed beads. Now I know 15-0s are tiny. I love working with these, but I know I can't convince all of you to dive into using 15-0s. They are really small, but these pack a punch. And this is frosted bronze. So the combination of these 3 beads in this design, super cool. We've got dimension going on. We've got different textures, different finishes on these beads and different shapes. Super fun design. This is something I love to do. So I thought I'd show you this one, and I've got another variation of this one. So let me show you that. So check this one out. This is super fun. So a totally different look with different color bar beads. So these are, let's see, I think they just call them silver. Yeah, these are just silver. So super shiny silver, really cool. And then I used 2 different beads and I alternated them throughout the design. So if you check that out, the clear beads are a Czech round 4mm crystal. That's the color, and you get 100 of those on your strand. And then some Pacifica honeydew Czech rounds. And I love the color of that Pacifica honeydew with the silver. So this is just kind of changing up the design a little bit. You'll also see in this design, thank you, Lisa. You'll also see in this design, I've got some spacers. I'm using Toho demi rounds. So they are in a nickel shade. This is one of my most favorite spacers to use. They are 11-0s, but they're like half the size of a seed bead. So they're a little shorter than a normal size seed bead, but they are still 11-0 in size. And what I did is I added 3 of them. So I put a bar bead, 3 of them, a round, 3 of them, and went through the next bar bead. So that adds some interesting dimensions, some interesting texture. And this one, like I said, so different from this one just by changing up the kinds of beads, the spacing of the beads, the type of spacers. So, oh, and it says the silver are sold out. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance for anything that is sold out, but you know the closing sale with 40% off is making everything go quickly. So I would suggest if you are interested in these 2-hole beads that you don't let them linger in your cart today because they can go fast, and just having them in your cart doesn't secure them for you forever. So here we've got a couple of different ideas. Let me set that aside, and I want to show you another way you can use these with different material. What if we made a cuff with memory wire? So this one is a cuff with memory wire. So I used some gold tone memory wire, some bracelet memory wire. I believe I was able to find some memory wire and put it in the show. So you can do silver or gold. And I will tell you, it's a little challenging to do 2-hole beads with memory wire. I find it incredibly challenging to do, but it's so worth it. The payoff is great. So this is really a fun design, and I decided to go a little bit bigger on the beads in between the 2-hole. So the 2-hole beads in this case are pink. And they're actually called crystal pink because There's actually some clear glass in this particular one. It's hard to see, but it almost looks striped up close. So I don't know if I'm giving you a good shot of that, but it almost looks like a stripe design. From far away, you can't really tell that, but getting up close, you can see that detail. So here's that pink color, my favorite color. And for this one, I used some Czech gem cut rondelles, and these beads are divine. So these are 7 by 5 millimeter, and they are copper and French rose. So the center of the bead is a pink color. And then on the ends or on either side of the bead is like a copper finish. And it's such a cool bead. They look luminous. They look really lovely. And when you match them with that more matte look, well, I guess it's not matte. When you match it with these more opaque beads, you really get a nice, a nice contrast. Now, what you see in between there is another demi round, and I'll show you what I used. I don't know if I got this one in the show because I don't think it was available, but in case anybody is curious, it was the Toho demi round 11-0 in permafinish galvanized starlight, which is a very bright yellowish gold. So I don't think, Michelle, that one is in the show. I don't think it was available, but I wanted to use it to show something with gold so you could see the variation of the different materials. Perfect for breast cancer awareness in October. Yes, absolutely. So what I did here is I used my Beading finishing pliers, which are also sold out, friends. I'm sorry. This tool saves my life for any memory wire work that I do and creating some little loops that finish the end of the bracelet. So I like to do the little coils, and what you could do if this is not comfortable for you, just attached to the wrist, is you could create a little chain closure. You could do a lobster claw and a chain to attach to the sides so that you have a little catch if this happens to come off. You could also make this longer. I intended to make this longer, but I think I ran out of patience when I was creating it. Not the best endorsement for this project, but just being honest, challenging to work with 2-hole beads and memory wire, but it is a big payoff. So this is a super fun way that you can use these bar beads and create something fun. So I thought today I would just show you how I create this bracelet with the stringing wire. And I'm going to use these again. I know they are sold out. I'm so sorry. But this is, this can be done with any of the bar beads that you can see in your shopping bag, any of the bar beads that are still available. Pick some bar beads, then pick a bead that you want to use. And I found this gorgeous Czech fire polish in 6 millimeter. It's called Coated Lavender AB. Look at that bead. Is that not a gorgeous bead? Let's all just stare at this bead for a moment. It's so cool. Really, really awesome bead. So we're going to use those. And then I know this looks kind of crazy, but we're going to use a seed bead in 11-0, and it's going to be a color. So this is opaque rainbow something. Oh wait, here's the name. Opaque rainbow turquoise. And this is a very cool seed bead. So I thought we would use 11-0 so you could see since I used completely different seed beads in these and this one, you can see what a true 11-0 will look like. And you can see how putting together a cool combination like this looks really interesting and fun. And I enjoy making these bracelets, so I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it too. Let's see. Hi, there are off-size bracelet, memory wire. Oh, okay. I see you guys are talking to each other. Memory wire comes in a number of sizes. And I believe most of the time what I work with is medium size bracelet. It also comes in an oval. So if you like more of an oval shaped bracelet, that works just as nice for a memory wire bracelet. So if you want to, I don't know if I put oval in the show, but there might be oval available. All right, so here's how I start, and I always start with a bar bead. So we're doing a bar bead, and I'm going to do 2 seed beads and a fire polish, and I'll show you this up close to the camera in 1 second, and then another bar bead. So when you're doing a 2-hole bead design, you go through the first hole first, obviously, and then we're going to go back down the other side. So you only add your bar beads once. And I love the combination of these silver and the lavender, and then that like shiny, super cool, lustery turquoise. Hi, Debbie J. Welcome, welcome. So I think that's interesting. And when you have them continuously throughout your design, it's just going to look more and more interesting. So I always suggest pick colors that you like, pick finishes that you like. Just pick what you like and try the different things together. So I think it's always fun just to try different options and test out different designs and different beads. Now, these bar beads are long enough that you can definitely fit a larger bead here. So we used small beads here, or I use small beads here, but we've got a little bit of a bigger bead going here. These are a 6 millimeter, and we can fit 2 of them side by side. So that's the key, is you want to be able to fit the 2 beads next to each other in between those bar beads. So that's the key to the design. So if you are looking around at options on the website, 6 millimeter works great. I have not tried an 8 millimeter, but it could work. I'm thinking it could, but I can see if I can scrounge one up and we can check it. So here's what we're doing. This is our pattern. Now you could do just like I'm doing here, do the bar beads for the whole, span of the bracelet, but you could also do sections of the bar bead in the center. So that's an option. That is a design option that you can choose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create this in a way that that I've got only a few of the fire polish beads in the center of the bracelet. I like the idea of just a few of those and then bar beads throughout the rest. So just to give you some ideas for design variation here. So that's just something for you to think about. And people ask questions like, can you use, a certain, shape of bead, or can you use a different, type of seed bead? And I always say, try it, give it a try. Because you never know what fun thing you can create if you just give it a try. So one thing I like to have handy, I'm going to get that out here. One thing I like to have handy is a ruler, because it also helps me to kind of keep track of my sizing. So, oops, I added one extra seed bead there. It helps me keep track of my sizing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have 6 beads in the center, and I'm going to add on this side over here more bar beads. So I'll have to cut from the package. I usually work from my stringing package. And by the way, if I didn't mention, I'm using 19-strand beading wire. I put some beading wire in the show. I think I put as much as I could find in the show to help you guys, pick some out if you don't already have some. So I'm just doing some seed beads now. I'm going to add bar beads and seed beads. So this is giving you another idea of what this is going to look like if you change things up a little bit and mix it up. So in this case, I don't have a ton of these beads, so I want to be certain that I don't run out. And so I'm going to put bar beads on the rest of the design. So you see here, I'm just putting 2 seed beads in between each of those bar beads. And just keeping an eye on the length. And I'm actually going to cut this piece from the package. So one thing that's good to have handy while you're doing this kind of a project is to have some bead stoppers, because this project requires that you have to kind of move your pieces and parts around, and you will need some bead stoppers or something to hold on to all of your pieces and parts while you put this together. So now I'm going to go back to the other side. Now that I decided I'm just going to do bar beads after these 6 beads here that will be my focal section. And so I'm just going through, I added 4 sections of just bar beads. Such pretty colors too. Yes, I agree, Santa Barbara Girl. These beads are so luminous, and then everybody loves turquoise. So I figured some turquoise seed beads would look pretty fabulous here. All right, so I am just about 6 inches. So I'm going to add like a couple more on either side here. And so I'm going to work from this side. I'm just not going to lift the other side up. I didn't put a stopper there, but I'm going to just very carefully add to this side and get that last bar bead on. Oops, that seed bead went somewhere on the floor. And there we go. So we've got this side here done. So we've got this larger spacing in the center with the addition of these beads, and then less spacing over here. Putting that bead stopper back on here. And then I'm going to add 2 more bar beads on this side. So like so. And I had never seen these bar beads before. And I don't know if these are even made anymore, but they are so cool. So I love how this looks. So this is our start. This is strand 1. Okay. And I know now I've got the right length, so I'm going to put my ruler away. And I'm definitely going to need another stopper on this side. And I'm going to put that one up a little higher on the wire. I'm going to start from this side. You can start from with whichever side you would like. And you're going to grab your wire again, and you're going to start the next strand. So you're going to go through that first bar bead. And this is a little, tedious, but, now you're just adding your seed beads and going through that second hole on your bar bead. And I'm going to get a couple more strung here, and I'll show you what it looks like up close. So this is really fun to do. And I'm going to go through the next hole here. I'll get one more on and I'll show you. So I'm working from the package on the second strand, and then I've got a stoppers on my other bead. So that's what this is looking like to start with. So that's where we just got the section with the seed beads and the bar beads. Get a little bit further down here. And it's just a stringing, oops. So I just added another bead, forgot to go through the bar. This is just a stringing project, you guys, but it's taking that stringing skill and bringing it to the next level. So just giving you something else to do with stringing. Creating a two-stranded bracelet. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So just taking that stringing project to the next level. So I am crazy about this color combination. I'm just going to say it. I love it. I think it's super fun. And I really enjoy these bar beads. If I could have all these bar beads in my arsenal, I would have every single one of them. So here's where we're back to our focal section. So here we're going to go back to seed beads. Thank you for the hearts. Seed beads and fire polish. And look at that fire polish. That is a powerful fire polish bead. So I see Michelle just popped up something I threw in the show today. There is a Toho challenge kit that's in the shopping bag. And if you're not familiar with that, every year Toho, who is the creator of Toho seed beads, Japanese company, they do a challenge, a design challenge for folks, and they put out a kit, and folks are, able to join the challenge if they like, and you get some amazing seed beads in that kit. So it's a great way if you want to participate in the challenge to do that, or to get a bunch of fabulous Toho seed beads. I thought, with 40% off, that if you hadn't seen that on the website, you might want to take a look, because it's a really cool deal. And there are some amazing colors, some amazing finishes, and think of creating this kind of a bracelet with lots of other seed bead options. So you get a ton of seed beads in that kit. So super, super cool. I just saw it on the website and thought, hey, this might be something these guys would be interested in. It's a great deal at 40% off. All right, so here's what we're looking like. Look how pretty that is. So we've got a little bit of a variation from our other samples that I showed you. We've got a different way to use the bars. So just with seed beads, and with seed beads and fire polish beads in 6mm, and creating that fun color and finish dimension. Super cool. Thank you, Monica. I love this. I am crazy about this. One of my favorite things is to create with 2-hole beads. If you follow me on social media, I often will post some designs with 2-hole beads. I've used them for bracelets and necklaces and earrings and all kinds of fun things. So they are fun to work with. And, most of the time when we're talking about these little Czech beads, they are smaller, like those brick beads I showed a little bit earlier. I know I have small bar beads, and I just couldn't put my fingers on them. But most of the time, that's the size you're working with, and those are fun to work with as well. I like to design with those as well. They're super fun, lots of options, but when I saw these, I flipped. I'm like, this is going to be great. So, what are your handles on other sites? So, you can find me as Deb Loves, Luvs Designs, or Deb Loves Jewelry Designs. And on YouTube, I'm Deb Loves Jewelry, and Loves is always Luvs for me. So you can check me out in those places. I do all kinds of social media posts, and I post a lot of fun things. I usually post after my Beadaholique shows. So if you want to see the projects completed in more of a glamour shot, I usually post them after the show. So sometime after the show, maybe the day after or a couple days after. So if you follow me in those places, you'll get to see it. So, what is cradle beads? I'm not sure what you're asking. What is cradle beads? Can you elaborate a little more? I don't know what that is. All right, we've almost got this strung, you guys. So see, even though we're doing 2 strands and we're using seed beads, this comes together pretty quick. So as long as you've got kind of everything secured, everything put together, you're good. So, oh, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to pull my wire from the package on this side. I'm going to grab another bead stopper. And I'm going to put the bead stopper on this side, and I'm going to push this one down a little bit. I've got a bead stopper on one strand over here. I'm going to put that down next to my bead, and now I'm going to cut from the package. So I'm going to cut from the package, and I'm going to grab one more bead stopper. So look, we got all the bead stoppers here. And I think bead stoppers are sold out. I think I was going to put those in the show, but I was not able to because I think they were sold out. So here's how we're looking. So I'm always going to do like a double check to see how everything came together. Make sure I didn't miss a bead, add an extra bead. Monty says, Michelle mentioned cradle beads that are in the challenge kit. Oh, I didn't see Michelle's comment. I'm sorry about that. Okay, you guys, so this is our design. So I'm going to show you how this is looking on the wrist. See, so in the focal section of our bracelet, we've got all of those shiny, sparkling, beautiful fire polish. And then towards the back of the bracelet, you've got just your bar beads. You could go all the way around with those, with these beads if you'd like. I don't know if we have exactly the amount we need, but you might. And of course, your bracelet size might vary. So here's how I'm going to finish it. And I'm just going to move these out of the way because if I don't, we're going to have beads all over the place. I just vacuumed in here, which I try to do maybe once or twice a week. I don't always get it done, but I just vacuumed up a ton of seed beads. I didn't want to vacuum them up, but I didn't want to pick them up either. Are you guys with me on that? Like, do you vacuum your seed beads or do you pick them up? Tell me. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, so and by the way, I've got some mats in the show today too. It's a great time to stock up on beading mats. I am really hard on my beading mats. This is a fairly new one. I usually get dirty and, sometimes there's divots out of them. So if you need a bead mat, it's a great time to get one or 2 or 3 or a package of them. So this is out of stock. I'm sorry, but I'm going to use this cool two-strand toggle. You can use any toggle. I used a really basic round toggle. This was also from my stash. I think that Michelle just put up one that I found in the shop on the website. So you can take two strands and connect directly to a single loop closure. But I thought I'd just show you, if you happen to have one of these, that you can use these for your designs. And all I need now are some crimps. So I'm using size 2 crimps with my 19 strand beading wire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of the stoppers, set that aside. We're going to do one strand at a time. Vicky's saying, I just ordered the bead mats because I keep losing beads all over the floor. That's not good. And Michelle, I ordered 2 orders. Can you, oh, okay. So I see she's asking Michelle a question. All right. So I'm pulling one bead stopper off, and I'm putting on my crimp tube. Now, I know that's a little bit hard to see because I'm working with all similar color tones. I'm going to take my 2-hole toggle bar, and then I'm going to take my toggle and I'm going to put that toggle. You know what? I just remembered something I wanted to give you guys as a tip. So I need beads again. So I knew I was forgetting something. I need just a few seed beads, and I need 4 more of these. I want to end on a bead and not the bar. And I want to do that because the bar bead is spread out. The holes are spread out this way. I want the fire polish beads to bring the wires together a little bit when I attach to my closure. That matters a lot more with a single toggle like this one, a single hole toggle, but I still think it creates a better closure for your piece. So I forgot to show you that. So we'll do that one at a time. And here we go. I'm going to add my crimp tube again, and now back to where I was. So I'm going to put these over here. So I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to go down through the crimp tube and through that bead, that fire polish bead. And I'm going to pull down until I get a not too small, not too large loop of my wire. And this is important because you want your toggle to move. You don't want to pull this tight. It gives some breathing room to this toggle, and it's going to allow that wire to, to have some breathing room too. So the wire and the toggle have some breathing room. I'm going to come in with my crimping pliers. I'm holding my wire off to the side to make sure it's not crossing inside my crimp tube. And then I'm going to come around and finish the crimp job, and got a nice solid crimp. And then I'm going to pull my wire away from the bead, come in with my cutters and trim off my excess. And now I've got the first strand on one side attached. Okay. And then I'm going to come back on this side, and I'm going to attach the other half on this side. So I've got my other half of the toggle, and I'm going to take off my next bead stopper. And I want to make sure that I add my beads like we did on the other side. We added 2 more seed beads and a fire polish. Janice, I'm not a big Wire Guardian fan. I'm just not. I won't say I've never used them. I don't use them most of the time for most stringing designs. It's just not a preference of mine. I do like French wire. I did not bring the French wire out for this project. It just, it's a lot of tedious stuff to show. And So I'm just using the wire and showing you that you don't need to use anything else if you just want to use your wire. But I know some folks love they love their wire guardian. So if you're a wire guardian fan, go on and use your wire guardians, and you would just add them here in this part of the process. But I've never really used them. I've never really felt like I needed them. So now that I've got my other side strung, I'm kind of letting gravity do, thanks, Marianne. It's a personal preference. I think it's what you feel comfortable with and what you like and your aesthetic. So I'm holding on to my wire and I'm on my other side, and I'm going to get that crimp done, making sure it's not crossed. And then I'm pulling my wire back and cutting off. So I've got one side ready to go here. Now, this is a little tricky when you get to the other strand in terms of getting your crimping done. But trust me, it's possible. It will work great. And what I'm going to do is add my beads first and get my beads out of the way, because it is a little tougher on this side, and I don't want to fling the beads everywhere and then have to vacuum again today. So see, I'm already doing it. Let me get them out of the way. Let me get these guys out of the way. This turquoise color is so pretty. I'm thinking I want to use these in another project. They're so pretty. So 40% off on all the things, you guys. All right. So I'm now going to tackle the clasp on the other side. So all we're doing now is attaching to the toggle that's already attached to the other strand. So I'm going to take off bead stopper number 3, put on my crimp tube, and then I'm going to go through my toggle, and then I'm going to go through that crimp tube, through that bead, and then I'm going to pull that and try to get of my wire about the same size. So it's just trying to get it to the same size. Remember, you don't want to choke down on that wire. You can always adjust a little bit with your fingernail if you need to. And now I'm going to get my crimping pliers in there. I'm going to get a hold of this as best I can and go in between and crimp and crimp. You just want to make sure you're getting in between here. This makes it a little tricky because you've got this so close, but your crimping pliers will absolutely fit in there. No, don't worry that you can't make that fit. It will definitely fit in there. All right, so we've got one end done. Now I've got the last bead stopper on, and I'm going to take that last crimp tube and I'm going to grab this. And I just realized I've got a little bit of slack on my bracelet over here. Dang it. So I did not get that finished right so I've got a little bit of excess space there. But it's okay. I can restring it. It's that's the most challenging part, is closing this one off and getting this sized right. So I'm going to get that up there, and I'm going to make sure that my loop is not too big and not too small. And coming in with my crimping pliers, I'm going to come in right there, crimp, and turn it and crimp, pull my wire away from the bead. So I'm holding it, pulling it away, and trimming. And now we have our finished 2-hole bead bracelet. Oh my goodness, I love this. This is such a fun bracelet. It's a little bit big for me, but I absolutely love how this looks. So here's what you do, guys. Grab those 2-hole beads. They are limited stock because once they are sold out of beadaholique.com, they are gone. So 40% off on those. Grab some 2-hole beads, grab some seed beads, some demi rounds, pick colors, pick metallics, and then get yourself some other beads. So there's the Timeless Wonders that you can pick from. There are fire polish beads that you can pick from. There are all these beautiful rounds. So I love the look of rounds for something like this. So here's that amazing Pacifica Honeydew we used on this one. And we also used these crystal. So they're not crystals, they're glass, but they are a crystal look. I'm opening with one hand here. See if I can get them in my hand. So we used those little rounds. These are all 4mm. So they're perfect for something like this. You can also grab yourself some memory wire and grab some rondelle shaped beads. So these are rondelle beads that have some really cool facets in them. You've got so much potential with memory wire because memory wire is kind of a one size fits all or one size fits most. And you can get larger or smaller sizes of memory wire. I don't know what is still available, but you can pick these fun memory wires and get these bar beads, get all of these fun things into your cart. I'm going to wear all of these. So I'm going to show you all of these on my arm. If I can get this one closed. I'm going to show you all the fun things. You could add charms to this and dangles to this. If you guys like a little extra movement, like look at all this fun stuff. Move those out of the way. Look at all of these bracelets and they're all a little bit different. So Monica's asking, where can I find the smaller memory wire? If I don't know if there's any still available at beadaholique.com, but you could certainly, if it's not there, you could certainly take a look around on the internet. So thank you, Janice. I love these bracelets too. So I'm going to flip up. And guys, if you don't get these bar beads now, I don't know if you're going to be able to find them anywhere else because I've never seen them before. They are so cool, so much fun. Oh, Michelle, an assortment pack. I think the assortment pack does have the bracelet too. So it has necklace, bracelet, and I think even a ring size. So that's awesome. So thank you everybody for being here. This was fun just to show you an easy design. I mean, this is a stringing project, but it's a little extra something. Maybe you've never tried working with 2-hole beads. This is a great way to do it because they're a little bit bigger than the bar beads that maybe you've seen, the little small ones, little checkmates. And while you guys are checking out, because you will need to check out and close your cart if you want to get those things home to you. If you don't check out, those things can come out of your cart. Someone can steal them right out of your cart. Of course, they're not doing it intentionally, but they're just trying to get their fun things home. While you're checking out, I want to show you one more thing. You can stare at my messy back table here and my TV. This is the Toho Challenge Kit. So it is called Sonoran Sunset. I live in the Sonoran Desert, so this sings to me. And, oh, you know what? I'm going to turn the camera down. I'm going to turn it back down. So this is the kit. If you've not seen this before, this is amazing. So you can find out all about the challenge. You'll get this insert in the kit and then look at all of this. You get all of this in your kit. You get some 2-hole beads, little small 2-hole beads. You get some 8-0 seed beads. You get some 11-0 seed beads. Look at this beautiful metallic color. Here's some turquoise. This is not the same turquoise I use today, but a beautiful turquoise. You get some ginkgo beads. Look at those. You get some fire polish. You get this beautiful Rivoli. So if you are a bead embroidery fan, that's in here. And you get some 1G. You even get some Icos, which are a really nice cylindrical bead that Toho makes. And they come in this lovely little pouch. You get all of this, and this is 40% off. So this is a great deal if you want to take the challenge or you just want to get all of these beautiful things that were inspired by the Sonoran sunset. I live in the Sonoran Desert. The Sonoran sunset is this. It's all of this. It just is. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. It is in the shopping bag. You can drop that in your cart and you can get that home with all of your other goodies that you're going to bring home today. I hope that you will try something with these bar beads. Make something fun. Pick some fun beads out and make a fun stringing 2-hole bead project. And thank you guys for being with me today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you visit us here and hang out here at beadaholic.com with us. Remember, it's 40% off everything. And we are going to continue to do these classes as long as we possibly can. Julie's going to be back on Thursday. We love Julie. She's, I'm sure, cooking up something that you're going to love. She'll also be back on Monday afternoon. And then I'll be back next Tuesday. Go and make something this week. Make some time to do something that you love. And we'll see you all very soon. Thanks, you guys, for